Hi, welcome, welcome. So glad you joined us today. I am Kelly Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas, and I have been a demonstrator since 2005, and I love it. That's why I'm still doing it. I'm thrilled to be able to do this as a full-time job now. We sold our ag irrigation business last year, so I've been doing it as a hobby / part-time gig, just play day, that kind of thing for quite a while. So this last year I've really worked on trying to provide value added videos and card classes and all of that for you. So hope you will let me know when you get on board here and tune in. If you'll make a comment, I'd love to see that. And you'll have to give StreamYard permission to show your face or your photo and your name. So whatever you have to do, you should get instructions on how to do that when you got the invitation to join today. And I have somebody on that says Facebook user. So if y'all want me to be able to see who you are and want to put that in the comments, that would be great. Or you can just follow the instructions that came on where you check the box and allow Facebook to show your name and all that. But I'm glad you're here, whoever you are, Facebook user. And I will get this set up so I can look at my comments. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Well, we're going to wait just a second and let some folks get on. Hopefully some people will tune in. I bet y'all are having just as busy a week as I've been having, getting ready for the Christmas holidays. But I am done with making Christmas cards and sending Christmas cards. I think unless I've missed somebody on my list. So hopefully they're all out by now. And I have switched over to spring and even to hearts that can be for Valentine's Day or just springish. This is from the Country Bouquet or Country Bouquet, whichever way you say it, bundle. And we have a punch and we have a stamp set called Country Bouquet. And then the whole suite is called Country Floral Lane. So it has some beautiful products in it, and we're just going to play today. I do not have a finished card to show you. I just had an idea, and I found a fun fold I wanted to try and have cut out a couple of things. But I will be glad to use your input if y'all are interested in giving some input as we go along. Otherwise, I plan for this to be one of the cards that's going to be in my January kit that I am going to talk to you kind of at the end about how we're going to set that up. I'm going to be doing a Create with Kelly Crew club, and you can subscribe and just get it monthly, and you'll get the card kits in the mail. And then once you've been a member for 6 months, for every 6 months that you're in, you'll get a $25 goodie bag of products from me as a freebie, in addition to what you get with the kits that you'll get in the mail or pick up or come to a live class. It just depends on what works with your schedule. So, but if you subscribe, you'll be sure to get each month's kit, and there'll be a surprise somewhat. Whoops, I'm kind of moving everything around there. Didn't realize that I was straightening my little sheet here. But today, as I said, we're going to play, and I'll tell you some more announcement type things at the end. But I did want you to know about that club coming up, and that we will have this in a January kit, and you'll be able to add on this bundle and I'll pay the tax and shipping for the bundle. So I don't know if you can see that on this punch. We're going to be using it in a minute. So all out of the mini catalog, a punch and a stamp set. And then it's all part of the Country Floral Lane suite. So we are going to create a card today. I've done the fun fold, I think, before, or something similar, but this particular fun fold came from justbestamping.blogspot.com, Barb Pfeffer. And that was in February 2/25. If y'all want to look up that one that she did with the, I think it was called At Home Bundle or something like that. But today, this is what we're concentrating on, and I'll be doing a class that is a Valentine kind of theme, but the Valentine doesn't have to be for your sweetheart kind of thing. It can be for anybody. I love that this has a sentiment in here. I love that we are friends. So that way, a lot of people, maybe you know have friends like I do who have lost their spouses recently, and this would be ideal for them to still get a Valentine's card and not feel out of the loop on the holiday. They still will get a card and cheer them up and let them know people love them. So who doesn't want that? We're going to play today. Like I said, I have not just to finish up with all the Christmas stuff as far as cards and all that go. So we're going to be playing with this fun fold. And you start off with a piece of 5.5 by 8. So you cut off 1/2 inch here off the 8.5 inch side. And then we're going to do some scoring and some cutting. So that's the basis of it. I've already got mine done, but I think it'll be easier if I show you step by step kind of how to do it, because it is important to do certain things first. So the first thing we're going to do, I usually, when I score large areas on the card, I like my Simply Scored, which is this tool. That's a great Stampin' Up! Product. And you always, when you're using the heavier cardstock, the regular cardstock and not DSP, then you can take the smaller ball end. When you use DSP, which is a lighter weight paper, and you want to use less pressure, you'd use the bigger ball end. So this one, we're going to use the small. And we're going to score at 2 inches and 6 inches. And I will put instructions of this on my blog eventually. Or at least it will be in the PDF for the class. Probably both. Okay, so I turned it from the long side to the short side. And we're going to get rid of this for now, because I think it's harder to use that when we're doing little bitty areas. I think it's easier to go ahead and use the Stampin' trimmer that has a score blade also. So what we're going to do is cut at 1 1/4 inch in. So that means right here, see if I can get that up where you can see this. So I'm measuring from this line. This is the cutting track or scoring track, either way. And then that's exactly where that's going to cut. So if you measure over here to 1 1/4 inch, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to move it over there. You can see that's at that inch. Here's the 1 inch. There's the 1 1/4 inch. So we're going to get the cutting blade out of the way, and we're going to use we're going to cut with it. Sorry. First thing, we're going to cut from the 2 inch mark to the 6 inch mark, or now it's vice versa, from 6 to 2. And I better stand up or I might make a mess here. So make sure you've got that lined up, and then you're going to cut just slowly from the 6 inch mark up to the 2 inch mark. And you have little line on your blades on both sides, and you can kind of tell where to start and stop. Then you flip it over and do 1 1/4 inch on this side. And we're going to go from the score line, which is at 2, up to the next score line. Well, this one's at 2, actually. 2 and 6. So you've got a 4 inch cut on both sides at 1 1/4 inch in from each side. Okay. Now we're going to take it and turn it back again. And we're going to do a little scoring here. And we're going to score. I'm going to move this out of the way again. Use the score tool, which is the lighter of the colors, because of course scoring is lighter pressure and does less than the heavyweight dark color. That's how I remember the colors, because this is lighter and that's darker. All right, at 3 inches, we're going to score just in between those cut lines. Okay, so now I've switched to the other side of the trimmer So I'm measuring from here over to here. So I'll show you up close that one too. You can see now I'm going to go over to the 3-inch line right there. Okay. And my score tool fell out. It just pops right back in. Okay, so we're going to start at that cut line, which is at 4 1/4 or 4. We stand up. Yeah, 4 1/4. So you just go cut line to cut line. And I'm a little off there. I can see, should be right there. Kind of hard to do this looking around a phone that's mounted right in your way. All right, then we're going to move it over to 5. So again, we're measuring from here this way and using that top ruler. So we're scoring at 3 and 5, just on the inside here. And I usually go back and forth 3 or 4 times just to make sure I have a deep enough score. Now we're going to do the opposite. We've scored inside the cut lines, and now we're going to move it over to the 4-inch. And I know this seems complicated, but this is the hardest part of the card, and it's not really hard. You just have to pay attention. So we're going to go, instead of in between the cut lines, we're going to go between the cut line and the top, and between the cut line and the bottom at 4 inches. And y'all can rewatch the video if you want to try to do this yourself. Now we're going to raise the arm up and go from the outside to the cut line at 4 inches. Okay, so that's all there is to it. It's going to look something like this. And then I'll show you how it folds. And I'm so glad to have you watching, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or watching a replay. I appreciate your input and your help by watching. And please share the video with other friends who are crafty and might really enjoy this. Everybody always likes to learn something new. So this is a new deal for you. Hopefully you're not tired of making this fold. Okay, we're going to get our bone folder, and we're going to fold this one, this side in. Make sure you've got that straight, level everywhere. I'm going to give it a little bit of a score, then I'm going to go here. So this is just like a vertical gatefold, which we've made a lot of these, or I've made several on videos, lots of them at classes. I'm going to get those score lines really good. Okay, now we're going to make, so those were valley folds in for the big sides. Then we're going to make this a mountain fold. And I like to just pinch it so I know which direction it's going. Pinch it. This is a mountain again. Both of those are mountains. And these are mountains. So get all those kind of pinched, and then one at a time we'll use the bone folder to score that, or to burnish that score line. So you can kind of do both of those at the same time. Really get that good deep burnish. Then fold this over. Get that one. And this one. Now I'm going to say fold it the other way and burnish it again with your score tool. You really want to get a good score on those, a good burnish, so they fold properly and it'll stay flat. Okay, so there we go. That's how the card works. And then when it folds flat, you can fold it this way or you can fold it this way, and it will fold flat and fit in an envelope. Isn't that cool? So that wasn't hard, was it? See, I told you. Okay, now we're going to play with some of the Country Bouquet paper. Like I said, it comes in this pack with all of these wonderful designs. And today I'm using some strips of this paper, which whenever you use this, whenever you initially cut this, one of these is going to be off. It's not going to be a complete one, the ones on the edges. Okay. So all I did was cut that edge off so that I was right here on the edge of this heart, because I wanted one row of hearts. And so there's just barely a line like that right in between them, which we could do that again. We could show you that real quickly. We could cut another row just to show what I mean. And I think it's right at an inch, but I would go more of the hearts than the, if anybody has a trick on keeping these score blades in once you've had this thing for years and years, let me know. I'd love to know that. Okay, let's see. It's right about an inch, and you just look in between this groove here, which is your track, and make sure you've just got a teeny tiny bit of this heart showing here and maybe a teeny tiny bit of that. I'll show you here. Get that up. It's kind of hard to see right there. I'm going to stand up again. So we're just going to slice that so that we have this 1 inch. So you could make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 of these. Probably not that one. Probably get 10 good ones out of here. Okay, and then I just cut that piece. You'll just start at the bottom, and I went ahead and did to the 5.5 mark. And that is cutting off the top of this a little bit. So I just barely shaved this end. You just kind of have to play with it a little and be patient with this because you want it to look really good on your card. So it's worth it to take a little extra effort. Okay, now if we go to the 5.5 mark, let's see how that is in our groove. That's about right. 5.5. Okay, so I'm going all the way top to bottom on the card because that's how the hearts worked out. So then we'll take and do this other one. And I know I'll have to trim that one at the bottom, just the very tip end of that heart off. Go to 5.5. And there you have it. Okay, so you're ready for a second card there. You got to have two strips for each one. So those are right at an inch. And I decided to put those with a background on it onto the petal pink. If I did not say, this is a petal pink cardstock. And you can do, this is 1.5 inches. I decided that the 1.25 inches was not going to be quite enough. I'm just going to lay this down. We're going to, some people say dry fit. Some people say audition. We're going to audition these pieces and see what we think before we glue these down. Okay. So we've kind of got that. I did try with a scallop and I just thought it was too much. I'll show you. This is from the Scallop Contour Dies. But certainly if you need it on both sides, and that was just, it was just too much, I thought. I thought it took away from the hearts to do it this way. But we're going to open this up a little bit and show you. So you get a feel for how I play. When I have ideas, I thought, oh, those scallops will be so cute. But really, they were kind of overwhelming when you get that much on there in these hearts. So I decided to go with a strip on either side. And I also tried the 1.25 inches. And this is Sweet Sorbet that coordinates with it. It has Mossy Meadows, Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink. What do y'all think here? If we want the 1.25 inches or the 1.5 inches, you'd want to do both sides the same, of course. This way, we're going to have a little more pink border, pink on the sides. Okay. So, if y'all are on, anybody's on and wants to share with me which side you like better, if you like the reds, this side or this side, we'll decide which one we want to use. While y'all are looking at that, I'm going to show you what I played with. We're going to flatten this out a little bit. And I'm going to show you that. We better kind of flatten that quite a bit more. I'm thinking these little hearts centered. This is just from a different sheet of that same paper. Use these centered in there. Okay. So, well, I'm going to have to cheat and show you the other before. We'll go ahead and put them on right now. So we've got 4 of these pieces, and these I told you are 1 inch by 5.5. Okay. And then this would be 5.5 by either 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, whichever way we decide to do that. And then these individual pieces are 1.75 inches by 1 inch. So I've got 4 of these. And initially I thought I wanted 2 different patterns. I wanted to try this up here, but it was just too much, especially with the focal point here, which I'm about to show you. See, it's just too much. It just was too much for me. A lot of times I mix and match a lot of patterns, and that's great. And thank you. We've got some new folks joining. I would love to know where you're from and who you are. If you would like to post a comment, that would be awesome. Okay, so we're playing with this one. As I said, that might be, I thought that was a bit much, but I'll show you with the all 4. Take away that pattern, stick with these. And of course, those aren't glued or anything yet because we're going to decide if we like more red, less red. I'm kind of leaning toward the less red now that I look at it. Okay, I'm going to show you the punch that comes with that Country Bouquet suite. It's right here. And one of the papers, here's the paper, and this will punch out of the paper, and it will also punch from the stamp set. So you can stamp any color you want for the hearts and the leaves. But if you punch out of here, which this one, I'm just not going to use this bottom heart. So I'm not worried that this chops that off, but you can see, I'm going to try to get this close enough. And you always, most people try to punch with it this way, but you want to punch with it this way where you can see. You just slide that in the little groove. If y'all don't have any of our Stampin' Up! Punches, they are awesome. And it's wonderful now that they're coordinating some with the designer series paper as well as the stamp set. So we're just going to punch that. And that gets us 2 leaves that we're going to use and a heart. And this is what we're going to use on the front. Somehow, I haven't made the card yet, like I said. And then we'll have a little greeting sentiment layer that we're just going to figure out what we want to do. But right now, let's get the rest of the card ready, and then I'll show you what we can play with the back too. I think that's too much red with that width. But those of you who are watching, if you want to have a say, let me know if you like the 1.5 inch, which has more of a red border, or if you like the 1.25 inch. Here, I think that's too much. Since I'm not getting a response here, I'm going to go ahead and just use the 1.25 inch. And we're going to get our little silicone mat and go ahead and glue all of this down. We can just use our Stampin' Seal. Let me get everything. I'm not sure what all y'all are seeing here. There we go. Kind of make it a little less messy for you. You could use the Stampin' Seal or you can use liquid glue, whichever one you're more comfortable with. And we're going to have to poke a hole to do that one. So I will just do this right here. And with the seal, you have to make sure and hold it parallel. Hold this part parallel to your work surface. And once you get used to this, you will love it. But a lot of people aren't patient enough to really get used to it, and they string it out and it makes a mess and they get frustrated. But if you'll really just take your time and learn to use it, be a little patient and not let it pull up and be stringy, you'll be happy with it. I betcha. Okay. And I'm just doing 3 little lines. This ought to work just fine. Doesn't have anything to do with the mechanism of the card. If you're going to be opening and closing or building a box or anything, you'd want to use the Stampin' Seal or tear and tape. But this way you could use just the regular Stampin' Seal or liquid glue, whichever your favorite adhesive is. And we're just trying to get this with an even border all the way around. Then we'll just glue this cardstock to here. The Sweet Sorbet. We are working with the Sweet Sorbet and Petal Pink because those are the colors in the designer paper. We're just going to clean that out a little bit. Got a little clogged up. And then we'll just center each strip on either side. And it doesn't take a ton of glue, just kind of all the way around and a little bit in the middle. And we'll just put that right here. Kind of center that where you've got an even border on each side. Isn't that pretty? That simple little thing really kind of dresses the card up to have just that extra layer. We almost had them upside down. And if you have grid paper out, that was probably a better idea, so you can kind of line that up. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Let's see if we've got that. Dump that. That's pretty close. Try to move that just a tad up. Maybe not. We may have to snip just a tad right there. Okay, then I'm going to, like I said, I decided not to do this pattern with all that other going on. It was just, I thought it was a bit much, but if you like it, that's great. It's your card. Create it however you want. Okay, we're going to glue these on, the little bitty pieces, and just center those in each little area. Even border all the way around. Hope y'all are having a great Christmas week. Everybody have all their shopping done and everything ready. I'm not quite there yet, but I am taking a break from all that and getting to play with fun new products from the mini catalog and the celebration catalog. And I did a video last week where I showed you a lot of the products that I have already out of that catalog. It's wonderful to get to be a demonstrator and get to see the new things before they go on sale to everybody else. If you're a FOMO kind of person, fear of missing out, and you're worried about, or if you've ever struggled with Stampin' Up having to some item being so popular that they run out before you get yours ordered, then being a demonstrator is the way to go, because we usually have first pick. So that makes it fun. I like it. All right, now, so you can see whenever we put this together and fold it, it's going to look kind of like this. How cute is that? Isn't that great? And it was so simple to do. And then we'll play with the back shortly. So we're going to put dimensionals on these. What do you think? Y'all like that so far? All right. Now we're going to figure out what we're going to do here, whether we're just going to stamp onto a long skinny piece, which may be the easiest, but let's see. I've got one of these. We could do this or this. See if it'll fit on here. This might be cute, just with the little banner ends. I think we could try that. Do we want to bring out the mossy meadow and then maybe put a little heart? I definitely want to do either the red. Maybe we'll just do the sweet sorbet. Okay, move this out of the way. We'll use our little Stampin' Pierce mat. Get a little greeting done. This is from the Stylish Shapes dies, I believe is what that is. Good grief, I just went blank. But it's the one with the squares, circles, banners. I think that's a current set, hopefully. I happen to have one of these banners that was already ready, so we're going to give it a try. Okay, now let's clean that off real quickly. And then I'm going to try it in the Mossy Meadow on a different one. I think I've got a couple of these. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not seeing my extras. Okay. See if I have one in my drawer. Well, I guess we'll just see how we like this. I love that we are friends. Isn't that awesome? I think that's too cute. And we can kind of off-center this. I'm not really a center kind of gal. I like it balanced, but it doesn't have to be symmetrical. So this kind of makes it look like the heart is a flower. I like that. Cute. Y'all agreed? I would like to try. We do have some new embellishments, so we'll try a couple of those on here and see how we like that. But we'll go ahead and get these on with dimensionals real quick. And I like all of this dimensional, so we're just going to do that. I think that's all we're going to stamp on the front. Let me see what time it is. We're doing great. I'm just going to put, whoops, sorry I was off screen there. And I kind of am wanting to off-center that. And I'm going to let the leaf kind of bleed off a little on one side and this bleed off a little on the other side. I'm going to grab my Sweet Sorbet marker. Looks like I didn't. That was the first time I used that stamp, and I should have taken time to stamp that off a little bit. Usually, especially on a photopolymer, you want to try it first. I think I made that worse. I surely did. Okay, I shall be right back. All right, here I am. already back. I knew I had a stash of these, but they were in the other room. So I'm going to stamp this again. We're going to, that way we do get to try the Mossy Meadow too. All right, I'm doing this again. And I'm going to stamp on a scratch piece of paper. A couple times. Now we're getting better color. I guess I'm just used to real red, which is a deeper color than the Sweet Sorbet. So we'll just do this. And try again. Just center it. Use a little pressure. Stamp straight down, straight up. That's a little more even than my first one was. But what I was saying, when it's a brand new stamp set, it just came off of the assembly line, you know, so you may have some kind of oils or some kind of something on it. So it's always good to stamp it, play with it first before you stamp it on your greeting. And I just got in a hurry and wanted to see how it looked and didn't do that. Okay. We'll get back to this. And this is called auditioning or dry fitting, whichever way you want to call it. We're going to probably use, I think it'd be easier to use the little mini dimensionals here for this. Grab a couple of these. This is kind of awkward on this side. That way we can cover both ends as opposed to just doing one big one in the middle that we might have to trim a bit. Okay. So one of them will be, I think that needs to be at the bottom just because that's a thicker border. I'm just going to lay it right there right now. We got two at once there. Using mini dimensionals on this one also. Now I'm going to go back to the big on this. Let's get this put up for the moment. Out of your eyesight. Okay, now let's grab a couple of big. They're not really big dimensionals, they're just regular size dimensionals. We want one on this end. We'll see how much room we have. Yeah, we've got one. We can do one more kind of in the middle and then let the other end hang off. Okay. Oops. Stuck it on the back of my dimensionals pack. All right. Now if we do that, I think that's cute. Make sure none of that's hanging out. Almost is. We may need to move it just a tad this way or down. See if that'll do it. Yep, that's hidden. Okay, now we'll take the backs off of this little leaf and position it how we want it. It's kind of a cute idea to have a heart that's really a flower, or a flower that's really a heart. There we go. Now, who wouldn't want that sitting on their desk? I love that we are friends. Isn't that cute? Easy, easy. Okay, now, since we have a little time, we're going to flip it over, because you could actually just write on the back of this. You wouldn't have to decorate this side fully, or you could make a couple of panels and stamp on them. You could make a little panel for right here which is kind of what I did and thought we might want to play a bit with the stamps. So I've got a couple of white ones. You could use a coordinating paper on the back, but I'm thinking if we do this and we kind of decorate it, that'll be plenty. Or we could just decorate the whole panels and leave just the one for a name. So let's just play and see what we come up with. How about that? Since we have a little bit of time, I think we'll stamp. Let's try. I really think I'm going to like the white. I think I'm going to like this with some stamping. So let me show you the stamp set. We've got a couple of things that I've already mounted. And then if I can find the stamp set itself. There we go. We'll mount the big ones. This is a two-step stamp, the large part that is made up of flowers and leaves. It's not, boy, it is really stuck to that set. Okay, we're going to get a big, kind of a large block. I do not know where my correct size block is. Get that where y'all can see. I'm just going to do this right here. And you could do a stamparatus, but I did not think of that earlier. So we're going to do just a couple of blocks. I think we'll be able to line it up just fine. Stampin' Up! Has gotten really great at making it easy on us. So we're going to try this and see what we think. I might put one of these or one of those. We'll see. I think that's going to be plenty. All right. We're going to say with love. We might need that one also. Which could be a for you or a with love, either way. Okay, we're going to mount this one. And I think we're going to take a sponge dauber also, or not. Don't really have that in here. I think we're just going to play. Okay, I'm going to start with the petal pink. I better get that on a block before I lose it. Hope y'all are still hanging in there with me. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube and replays. I really appreciate it, and I certainly appreciate you subscribing and passing the word. If you like my videos, would love to have more people watching and learning. I love to teach people. Okay, we're, again, since this is a new stamp set, we're just going to stamp it on scratch paper a couple times. Okay. Then we're going to stamp on here. And I'm just going to offset this on one piece, and then we're going to do it on the other piece, kind of more toward the top and more like this. Okay, that's the petal pink, and it does dry a little bit lighter. It's not exactly the same color to me, the ink and the cardstock. This is one of the few colors that doesn't really totally match up as the same. Okay, so we're going to do Mossy Meadow. You could do Mint Macaron. Certainly if you're not using any of the DSP, you could. It's just that this particular DSP, the Mossy Meadow, really stands out a lot more than the Mint Macaron. So that's why I chose the colors there. And then we're going to see how we like this. And I'm going to stamp it off on scratch paper because it's brand new. Haven't tried it yet. That did really well. Okay. All right. Now we're going to see if we can figure out where we line this up in between here. Because it doesn't have to be exact. It's just going to be as long as it's close. I think I should have marked that angle, right? We're just going to try it and see what happens. We've got a do-over side on the other side. There we go. We're going to see if that's too much. If we go back in and add a little red of the hearts, I think that's might be a little bit too much. Y'all who are watching can say. Not really a big fan of that. And maybe I would be if it were red instead of the petal pink. So we'll try that. Or we might just do a little one. Maybe we'll come back with where we've got more space so that we know for sure that this is a heart. You've got really room for the whole heart. And sorry about the lawn mowing. They just started that, I guess, in a yard close by, so it's kind of bleeding through. Okay, let's try something else. I wasn't crazy about that. Okay, so let's try the smaller flower bouquet that's in here that would be similar. And little hearts. We'll stamp some hearts and little flowers. Take that off, put that back in here. We'll try these little flowers that match those, but it's just not the whole heart. So let's try, we'll try Sweet Sorbet on this one. Sorry, I'm reaching across the camera there. Okay, if we do this with the red, let's try scratch paper first. Kelly, do as you say, not. There we go. See how much better that got from first to second stamping? So that's what we need to do. Okay. We may need to re-ink this pad too. Okay. I think we'll just stamp a little bit of this. Do I want to do it both corners and then do a pink one? I'm going to turn it. Sorry, y'all, holler. If you make a comment when I'm off camera and you can't see very well, let me know. Okay. Now we'll do this one in the opposite corner. There we go. And now we'll do maybe some pink hearts. Let's see how we want to incorporate these. Oops, I did the red on those. Let's clean that off before we go back into our sweet sorbet with it. We'll do the petal pink. Now we've got an open heart here. That does well. Okay, we're just playing around. Like I said, we're going to leave room for us to do a sentiment. Okay, now we'll do another little red heart. I'm saying red, but it's really a sweet sorbet and petal pink is what I'm using. Gonna make this a little bit different than that one. Maybe I'm not leaving a whole lot of room to write there, am I? But I made a little smudge right there, so I'm just going to try to cover that up with this. This way you have a little more room to write on that one. Now, I think what we'll do is just put red hearts on this one. And leave it at that. Don't think we really have to have the green anywhere, but we could if y'all want to play with a little. We've got two little green plants or ferns or something here. So we, in order to bring a little touch of that green that's on the front in, we'll try it, see what we think. Whoop! Careful. Okay, so we're going with the Mossy Meadow because that's what we used on the other side. Scrap paper. Okay, we'll just kind of curve that around a little bit. Now we're going to use a different one on the other side. Get that cleaned off with our little Stampin' Chamois handy tool. Okay, now we'll try the other leaf shape in the Mossy Meadow. Put one of those on this side. Let's see. And I didn't stamp off with that one, you can tell. Okay. So we'll just close those up and let's do a let's go ahead and do a With Love in the green. And then if you wanted to do Happy Valentine's Day on the back, you could. It just depends on who you're sending it to. But we have Happy Valentine's Day, and just wanted to say, let's see if we can fit Happy Valentine's Day. We'd have to do it separately. I think we'll just leave the With Love on that panel. See what we think. I'm not totally crazy about it. I think it's just because of that petal pink color when you stamp. That's something you could do, okay? But I think for this card, I may go ahead and cut some of this. I think this would be a lot prettier. It's just I didn't want to waste it on the back. I feel like it's wasted back there. But I like that a lot better than doing the stamped panels. What do y'all think? Now I'll have to do another panel, or we're going to flip that over because now if we're going to use this paper, this doesn't have the Mossy Meadow. It just has the mint macaron. So, but I guess maybe in my head, that's kind of what I was thinking. So let's just do that. And we may or may not want to do that when you're doing your card. Okay, this is going to be, these are 2 inches, so this would be 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And that would give us an even border all the way around. It's a little different from the front where we went all the way to 5 1/2. Okay. There's that. But I think that's going to be a lot cuter to just do this. Okay, let's get our mat out. And don't get in a rush like I just did. I probably would have cut the paper the other way if I'd paid any attention. Just always look at the front and the back and make sure you're cutting the paper the way you think you would want to, even if you use the back. This is multi-directional for sure, so it doesn't matter. But if you were going to use this back, you'd have to decide if you wanted a lengthwise hearts or if you'd rather have a vertical or a horizontal of the blue hearts for you to be able to use on future cards. But this, I think, is prettier. That looks better. Okay, so we'll just do this right here for you to sign your name. And we're just going to do the With Love and do the hearts. And we may put a little bit of embellishment on the front. And we'll be done. Easy peasy. It was kind of fun to play and see what we came up with on the fly. I'm sure y'all like to see other people just come up with things on the fly. I do. I like watching some that are prepared, that you get through them quickly and you know how to make the card quickly. But sometimes if I'm just in the mood to play or watch somebody else play and see how other people do things, then I'll try this. Okay. Whoops. What am I doing? I don't know why I'm thinking we might need that, but I don't really think we do with these. Unless I were to do it like that, which I could. Since we have it mounted, we'll do that. And that is, like I said, in the mint macaron, which is in the designer series paper on that side. And then we'll use the Sweet Sorbet with the With Love and the hearts. See if I want that here. Nope. Just going to use the With Love with the Sweet Sorbet. We'll do this at the top. And again, I'm so sorry. I had no idea they were about to start. Just don't have any control of the neighborhood mowing. So hopefully y'all can't hear that on the video. I'm excited about doing this club every month. I will be giving y'all details on my blog. So if you haven't subscribed there, I would love for you to sign up so you get all the news. Now I wish I hadn't done that. Little plant sprig, but maybe it'll work with this. We'll see what we think. I think that kind of works. For that, looks like I need to change my blade. It's not very sharp. You can sometimes kind of fix that with your fingernails, kind of get rid of those ragged edges that way. Okay. I don't like that little stem sticking up right there. I think I'm going to trim that really quickly. Just trim it just a tad where it doesn't. It's going off the page more. Okay. I think that's all we're going to do, peeps. Thanks again for tuning in. Watch for details about this. This will be one of the cards at the class. We'll be using a lot of those different papers in the Designer Series paper. And I'll also be doing a paper share where you would get a share of all the papers in the new mini catalog. So let me know if you're interested in that. I'm working on pricing and packaging and all of that. But we'll want to order them right away, like on the January 4th, 5th, whichever day it is that y'all can order. So that is coming up right away. So I'll have lots of news on my page as soon as I can get all this figured out. But today it was fun to play with this new set. Okay, that looks much better. Just didn't like those panels. Maybe I would have liked it if I'd played with it a little more, but I like that. So really either side of the card is pretty. If you had it sitting on your desk, it would look pretty for whoever walks up and sees it. And when you open it, it would be fun that way too. So you just decide if you want it to open that way or that way. I kind of think I want mine this way. So I'm going to use my bone folder just a little bit more, maybe encourage it to go that way. But when you fold it and put it in your envelope, that's the way it will look. And then when they open it up, they'll see that pop out. Let's get all this mess out of the way. Oh, I forgot we were thinking about some pastel adhesive back sequins is what I was considering putting on here. And I have started opening mine from the right so that I don't have to fight with this opening and closing and opening and closing every time. I can just slide these out. Let's see if we like some of these on here. I'm just going to go with some of the pinkish toned ones and see. It may be too purpley pink. Yep, don't like it. Nope, not the ones I was hoping for. Okay. We could use the gold, but I don't have gold anywhere else, so I think I'm going to pass on that one. Let's see how this goes back in there. Okay, let's see if we like these new ones. No, not really. I think we would probably like just some of the red sparkly jewels the best. And I don't have those in here, so y'all just imagine. If we were to add a couple of embellishments, I think that would just really set that off nicely. And we could add Wink of Stella too. That would be great. We can just do that really quickly because I do have that in here. Let's just Wink of Stella our heart. How about that? Give it a little shine and shimmer on the leaves and on the heart. I like it. I probably will go around here too, around this edge where it shows off that little stitching. Probably would be easier, definitely would be easier to do this. Think about it before you put it on with dimensionals if you're going to do this. This is a little more awkward to do, to try to keep it off of the cardstock, but how do you like that little detail? Can y'all see the little shine? Isn't that pretty? So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Thanks again. I'm Kelly Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas, but I can help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Needs if you live in the U.S. So I'll be glad to chat with you if you have any questions. If y'all want to see more out of the catalog, that'll be coming up soon, and we'll have several more classes using this country bouquet and the country floral suite. So thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day. Appreciate you watching the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live or the replay. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.